No, Jag. Hello, Jag.
Okay. Okay. Now can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now clearly. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Perfect.
How are you?
Yes, Mustafa, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's
Yes, that's good. All right. So, am I sharing my screen? I don't know. Can you see my screen?
I can see a black screen.
Okay. Now can you see anything?
Still waiting. It's still a black.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I can see new meeting. Yeah. Are you there?
Yes.
Wait.
Just let me know if you whenever you see the screen. Okay.
Okay. It's just a black screen.
Mm-hmm. Just wait for a while. Let's wait.
So you're using Citrix.
Sorry.
You're using Citrix.
Yes.
Still waiting for it.
Okay.
I can see a black screen. Just a normal black screen.
Last time also we had this issue. There was a huge delay.
What was it?
I don't know. It was a huge delay. Whenever I tried to switch the screen, you saw it around 1 or 2 minutes later. So
That's strange. What? It should work. Hopefully, it should work.
it should work.
Can you see anything from your side, or it's just black from yours as well?
I can see the meeting screen. You know. Soon I'll be switching over to the Google Slides that I have prepared. So.
Still waiting for it. Just let you know.
Okay. Okay. Can you see anything now?
No, it's still black.
Oh, that's
Black.
strange.
That's
It's been more than, yeah, it has been more than 2 minutes. So,
But the only thing is wrong.
I'm not sure. we are on the same meeting. I'm sharing my screen.
I can see a black screen. That's all I can see.
Okay.
It's a white screen now. Something's coming. Something's coming.
All right.
I can see something now. SAP R3
Oh,
started to come onto.
there's a, okay. Now can you see SAP
Yeah,
R3 security overview?
I can see that. Yep.
All right. So what I'm going to know, what I'm going to do, just to see how much delay is there, I'm going to switch the slide now. Just let me know whenever you see the next slide, okay?
I'll let you know.
So now I've changed it. Let me know.
I can see it now. Yep.
Okay, so I think there is some 10 to 15 seconds delay, right?
Probably because it's slow. Probably I don't know. It might be slow, but
All right.
I can see. I can see now.
All right. So Mustafa, so today is our first class of the SAP Security. So let me tell you the topics that I will be covering today.
Okay.
So we will be covering the overview of SAP. I think you already know that. Overview of SAP basis. That also. Introduction to SAP Security. I think you can see my Word doc.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
All right. So why do we need security, right? Were we better off without it, or do we need in this today's world? Is there a need of any security, SAP security? All right. So what are the things that needs to be protected, right? From whom we need to protect? Are there any external threats, or are there any internal threats? So we are going to discuss all of those. And the implementation methodology, right? So today is going to be all the conceptual class, all the theoretical class. From tomorrow, what we will be doing is we are going to create users. We are going to look at all the user administrations, right? And tables also. Today is all about why do we need security and what is the concept behind SAP security. All right. So let's start.
Okay.
Right. Overview of SAP, as we already know. In 1972, 5 system analysts that were from IBM, they started a company. The main goal was to create an enterprise resource planning software, ERP software, that is going to integrate all the processes in the ERP in the industry. All right. So one of them was Hasso Plattner. Right. So if you can take a side note over there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you. I don't know how should I do it. Let's create another document. Okay.
Okay.
Right. One of them was,
Yeah, I can see some. No, that's the first one. The overview of SAP. Yeah.
I will tell you as all the things whenever they come into my mind. All right.
Yep.
So, okay. So the third point here, SAP invented and established the ERP system. ERP is a single software solution that combines all the departments and functions of a company into a single computer system. So SAP is in the real-time analysis. As you told me, you are already working on SAP, so I doubt you need all these introductions. So, anyways, I will be sharing all these slides with you.
That's
So,
fine. Thanks a lot.
as a backup, if you want to
Yeah, yeah.
study on your own and
If you don't
maybe
mind,
explore on your own.
yeah. If you don't mind, you can share this with me as a backup.
Yes, definitely, I will do it.
Thank you.
All right. So, yeah, that was SAP, right? As far as I know, SAP is the largest company in information technology. I think that's it from the SAP.
Yeah.
So let's move on. So what is SAP Basis? So Basis is business application software integrated solutions, right? It is a set of tools, right? It is a set of programs and tools that acts as interface with database operating system, communication protocols, and business applications such as finance, controlling, material management. Right. Basis is also known as NetWeaver these days. All right. So alias of Basis is SAP Application Server Technology, right?
Okay.
And the alias of NetWeaver is SAP Web Application Server. So don't get confused between these two. Basis is something else, and NetWeaver is something else, right? So NetWeaver is most of it is related to the online, like the portal development and the web application server, right? Web application services. Sorry. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So we can say Basis is the operating system for SAP applications, right? And above. Basis, I should write it in capitals, right? Basis provides services like communications with the operating system, database communications, memory management, runtime collection. So all of this is managed in Basis server. Basis. Okay. So let's go to the details of it, right?
Okay.
So what tools does Basis provide us with, right? So as you can see, it allows us to interact with the third-party applications. And that this is clearly mentioned in the diagram. All right. So, so what functionalities does it offer? So, it is system monitoring and administration tools, right? So, what kind of load is system taking, right? What number of users are logged in? What are the roles that are currently being used, right? That is from the security point of view. Common monitoring tool, CCMS, computing center management system to monitor alerts of R3 system from at one place. Okay, server-side scripting in ABAP and JavaScript, use of BSPs, business server pages. So I will be modifying these, right, to build online stores and portals. Database monitoring and administration utilities. So just like we need to, from the security point of view, whenever we need to see what were the changes made in that database table and all the change history.
Yes.
Right. That is when the Basis also comes into play. Resource management like memory, buffer, etc. Right. So what are the resources allotted to a user? That is also we can
Yep.
Okay. Shall I go ahead?
Yeah, carry on, Mike, carry on, yeah.
All right. So authorization and profile management. So SAP security is a part of basis. Do remember that, right? Authorization and profile management.
SAP security is part of basis.
Yes, SAP security is a part, or you can say it is a subset of basis where we actually manage the authorizations and profiles, right? So authorization profiles, and I should add user.
Yep.
User authorization and profile management tools for user management. Yeah, I should get rid of user management. All right, so internet access controls. So internet access controls to the system and business objects. So all the configuration related to the ITS, Internet Transaction Server, right?
Yep.
I don't know, ICM, Internet Communication Manager. That is also covered in basis.
Okay.
Transfer modifications in screen, program, layout from the development to production system for accuracy purpose by transport management system. That is TMS.
TMS, yeah.
Yeah. Let me just give you transaction code for that. SP09, as far as I remember, SP10.
Is that the transactions?
Yes, these are the transactions. TMS.
That's quite a lot.
As far as I remember, so
Yep.
there are lots of transactions. There are actually STMS, TMS F4. That's all I can think of right now.
Okay.
So there are lots of transactions. Client server architecture and configuration. So I should add here the CUA configuration also.
Yep.
And the graphical user interface designing for the presentation layer. Okay, so this is what the SAP basis will cover, right? These are the set of tools.
Okay.
Right. All right. So next is, why do we need SAP security?
Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah.
Okay. So, as you know, these days the system landscape is not so simple, right? Are we recording this session, by the way?
Yes.
You should.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
All right. Should I start?
Still waiting for you. Yep.
Okay. So why do we need SAP security? Right. As I was saying, the landscape these days are not as simple, right? What we were taught was there are three layers to an ERP system in SAP: the database layer, the application layer, and the presentation layer. Right. So, but however, the landscape has increased a lot. You know, the complexity of landscape has increased a lot. Right. So there are more distributed systems. Right. So increasing distributed systems to manage business data. So let us say we have a separate landscape for finance. Let's say, right, and we have a separate server or clients or for the retail management sector, right? So there are a number of distributed systems for a single company, right? And that demands for more enhanced security, right? So there are lots of ways we can secure these distributed landscapes, right? Mm, let's come to the next point. When using a distributed system, we need to be sure that the data and processes support business needs without allowing unauthorized access to the critical information. Right.
Okay.
So we need to be sure that whatever the communication is happening from, let's say, one landscape to another, one system to another, we need to, and within that systems all, and within those systems also, we need to secure all the data that we can
Okay.
from let's say unauthorized access, from a stray access also, right? From a mistaken access also, right? So let's come to the next point. User errors.
Yep.
Right. I was saying the mistaken errors, right? Mistaken access. That are the user errors. Negligence on the. I think you're getting a call on Skype.
What's she calling? One second. Hello?
Hi, Mustafa.
Yeah, yeah.
You're with Jagraj?
Yeah, yeah, everything's okay now. Everything's okay. Everything has been solved.
You're in session?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, bye, bye, bye. Sorry about this, mate.
I should check my phone also. Yep, she was calling me also. So
Because she wanted to find out what was happening, why wasn't it working, but now it's working. So sorry about that.
maybe I don't know. Maybe yeah. What I think was my meeting link was expired. I
Yeah,
did
yeah.
send you a screenshot, right?
Yep.
Yep. All right. So where were we? The third point.
The third point.
The user errors. User errors, right? Negligence or attempted manipulation, right? Negligence from the basis point of view, from the administrator's point of view, right? If a guy can, let me just announce this point. Access to conflicting. Sorry. Access to conflicting transactions.
Yep.
Let us say VA01 and XK01. Let us say, right, if we can create a vendor and we can create a sales order, that is an unauthorized access. That leads to a conflict or a risk, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the risk for us. I'm just giving you an overview. Later on, we will be discussing this in more details.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Right. So our attempted manipulation on the system should not result in loss of information or processing time. So this is important, loss of information or processing time. Right. These demands on security apply likewise to the SAP R3 systems. Therefore, SAP offer a number of services to meet the security demands on the R3 system by default. All right. So there is
Bless you.
sorry. Thank you. All right. Yeah. So, however, to effectively use these services, I don't know. Excuse me. We need to make our own contribution as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So SAP does provide a set of tools to monitor all these risks, to monitor all the roles and users. I will let you know in a while. Today only maybe. Yep. Right. So, but we also need to see what information is most vulnerable, right? That is, where are we most vulnerable? What information do we consider critical? So let us say a company dealing in finance consider its financial data most critical, right? So let us say a bank also, right? All the account details, all the money that is being transferred, that is the critical part of their business process.
Yep.
So that is the information that they will consider most critical. As far as sales point of view, that is a comparatively less critical, right? So we have to prioritize. All right. So where is the critical information stored or transferred? All right. Stored and transferred. Stored, as we all know, the data is stored in the tables, and we need to give those tables all the security that we can to provide an unauthorized access, right? And that data is also transferred, right? So transferred to let's say to the customer portal. Let us say the information of your bank account is also displayed on the portal, right? So the portal access also needs to be very secure, right? That is achieved through the digital signatures. Let us say your passwords and the secure network communications, right? The SNC, as you can see here, in the diagram just below here, right?
Yep.
So network communications is SAP router string and secure network communications. So these are the two layers that SAP provides, right? On the right here, logging and auditing, right? So we log and audit every access, right? Because what happens here, I think in the UK also, whenever you try to enter a password 3 times wrong, your account will get logged.
Yep.
Right. So that is where the logging and auditing comes into play. Right?
Okay.
All right. So what are the security options that are available to protect your critical data and communications? We need to see if SAP inbuilt options are not enough, then we have to go for solutions. Right. All right. So let me take a break here, and I will tell you what are the big players that are going around.
Okay.
Right. So as we know, SAP GRC has its own solutions. SAP GRC 10 has the latest version.
That's
Security Viewer has its own products in SAP Security. Then we have Approva. Then we have Control Panel GRC. They have their own products. We also have, I'm not sure if this company is going to be more successful in future, but that's the latest company here, Vintage GRC. Right. So these are these are the players that I can think of right now. Right. These all have their own GRC solutions, own security solutions. Right. Okay. So security aspects that you should consider to include. Right. What are the security aspects that you should be taking into account? All right. That's the user authentication, right? Authorization protection, integrity protection, privacy protection, proof of obligation, auditing, and logging. We are going to discuss all of these in the next slide.
Okay.
All right. Before we go further, Mustafa, do you have any queries regarding any of these things that we have discussed till now?
It's quite straightforward.
Hello?
It's fine. It's all okay.
Yes, Mustafa, can you repeat that again?
Yeah, I said everything's okay.
All right. All right, so we'll move ahead. All right, so here are the things that we need to protect, right, or the security aspects. Right. When establishing the security policy, we need to decide what information or process we consider critical.
Yep.
Right. Right. We also need to decide what type of protection we need for this information. Security policy should encompass aspects such as authentication. What do you mean by authentication? When I say authentication, it means only to allow legitimate users or only to allow the legitimate users access to your system and prevent users from being impersonated. Right. So let us say if a user has an access to let us say the production system, let us say PRD system, right? However, the developer does not have an access to the development system. Does not have an access to the production system, right? So developer has an access to the development system, but not the production system, right? It is important. Let's go through this point once again. It is important to only allow legitimate users, the users which have access to a particular system, right? Only to allow legitimate users access to your system and prevent users from being impersonated. So let us say a developer goes into production system and makes any changes thinking that that is not recommended, but however by mistake he does any change to the production system. So that is a whole wrong scenario going on there, right?
Okay.
So we need to take care of that. So authentication takes part here. Next is authorization. Right. So it is important that users can only perform tasks for which they are authorized. So this is a very huge point. So let us say the end users one of the end users can actually run all the reports and not create any sales order, not create any customer, not create any vendor, or not post any goods, right? It has only access to the reports. So what will happen there if he has those access, right? That will pose a great risk or a conflict, right? So here we understand the importance of authorizations, right? We will discuss that in the later parts. What is an authorization used for, right? So authorization in the layman terms is a set of tasks that a user can perform, right? Next is integrity. It is important that data cannot be changed without detection, right? So if a data is changed, we have to create a backup of it, right? All the history, who changed it, when it was changed, right? At what time, right? In which server, from which process, right? Was that done through a background process or from a dialog process? That is where integrity comes to play, right? Next is privacy. It is important to protect data or communications from unauthorized viewing or eavesdropping, right? So privacy is a very good example. Let me just give you right. So we have read access, write access, share access, right? Okay. So this is somewhat related to SAP, right? So we need to protect data from unauthorized viewing or eavesdropping, right? So if a user can view the data but cannot change it, it will have read access. If a user can also change the data, it will have the right access. All right.
Yep.
Next is obligation. It is important to be able to ensure liability and legal obligation, right? So, Mustafa, have you heard about the Sarbanes-Oxley Act or the SOX?
I've heard of SOX, yeah. SOX and SODs, segregation of duties, you mean?
All right. So let me tell you, SOX is not the segregation of duties. It is actually a law that was passed by the US government. I don't exactly know the date. So what it does is, what it states that if the company's security policy is not audited, right? If there is no such GRC compliance, right, governance and risk compliance in the place, the CEO of the company can go to jail. All right. So that was the act, and it sent all the companies scrambling for installing the implementing the GRC solutions. Right. As I told you in the previous slides, these are the SAP security players. Right, so these companies have been giving the security solutions to all the companies.
Is that SOX? Was that SOX?
Yes, that is the SOX.
Okay.
Sarbanes-Oxley Act. So let me just write here. Right, just search that in the internet and you will get to know what this is.
Yep.
Okay. So it is important to be able to ensure the liability and legal obligations. So companies are legally obliged to implement the GRC solutions in their company, just to prevent any fraud, just to prevent any unauthorized access. Right? It is for their own good, but rather than thinking of it as an hindrance, it should be an opportunity to streamline your business process. Right?
Yep.
All right. So next is auditing and logging. Right. It is important to record activities and events for future reference. Right. So, for example, audits. Right. So there can be number of examples over here. So let us say if we change a table, BKPF is changed. Right. When was it changed? Who changed it? And through which process? / decode, right? And if we take an example of a user, let us say if we find a user lingering on this, let us say transaction FS, I don't know, I don't remember the transaction code, but if we see a user executing a very critical transaction for a long duration of time, we can we can record that activity for the future reference, right? So that is the whole point of auditing and logging. Logging, we are actually logging all the activities of every user's. Logging, we are documenting every change of the critical tables, right, and critical transaction codes. Okay, this is logging. Auditing is whenever we audit the whole year's data, right, to confirm that if there are any risks that a company is getting exposed to. All right. So, right. So we have auditing companies, right? Let's say Ernst and Young. It is a huge auditing company. What it does is it audits all the company's data and see if there are any gaps, right?
Yep.
Okay. Moving forward. All right. Implementation methodology. So what we need to consider before implementing SAP security solutions or SAP security for a company. Right. Right. Now the first point is, let me just maximize it for you. Okay, first of all, just let me know if you are able to see the full screen.
We're just waiting. It's loading. Yep, I can see that. Yep. That's clear. Yeah, I can see that. Yep.
Okay, so implementation methodology. So the alignment of SAP configuration settings with its organizational policies. So every company has its own organization policy, right? So a company ID security policy should specify mandatory software requirements for things such as minimum password length, password strength, number of password fails allowed before an account is logged out, etc. Right. So this is a policy that a company needs to do on its own, right? First of all, what should be the minimum password length, right? What should be the password strength? Should it contain an uppercase? If an uppercase is mandatory, if a special character is mandatory, or if a alphanumeric password is mandatory, right? Or a combination of all of these, right? So next is number of password fails allowed before account is locked out. So let us say we have 5 number of password fails allowed, right? So if I enter my password 5 times wrong, my account is logged out, right?
Yep.
So these are the software requirements that a company needs to document and also needs to put in place, right? So that should be the hard rules. In SAP, these settings are configurable and can be controlled by using system parameters, right? So these are the system parameters. I think you know where these are maintained, right?
Yep.
Do you know them? All right. So these are maintained in the transaction RZ11, RZ10. Okay.
Can you say that again, sorry? I couldn't hear that.
So we can just let me show you.
Okay, good.
So I hope you can see my screen. By the way, you do have the access to the server, right?
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
That's very important.
Yes, that is. So what I did was I created my own username also.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a very important tool.
Yes. All right. So we have different parameters. Let's say I have the profile, default profile. This type. Oh, this one. The extended maintenance.
What
and
page
I
you are?
display it. Sorry.
What page are you looking at?
Actually, you're not able to see my SAP screen, are you?
No.
Okay.
No.
So let me just write that down for you.
Okay.
Right. RC11, RC10. So these are the 2 transaction codes that you can maintain these parameters with.
Can I ask you one thing before you carry on? If you don't mind, before you, after when we completed the first session today, can you just email me
Mhm.
these slides, please?
Yes, definitely. I will do that. Yes.
Thanks, mate. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Just it's my pleasure. All right. So I think you can see here. Let me just go to the presentation once again. All right. Now you can see the transaction codes here. The transaction RZ11 and RZ10. Right.
In the screen, in the slide, you mean?
Yes, in the slide.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are the parameters that we need to modify accordingly. Right. So that's the login password expiration time, default 0, recommended 30. Right. So users are forced to change their SAP passwords after this number of days. Right.
Mm.
So if you put in here 30, so every month a user has to change its password. So which is a good practice, ideally. Right. It can be increased up to 60. So after every 2 months, a user need to change its password. The next is login min password LNG, minimum password length.
No.
Right. Default is 3. That is actually from the not the ECC. That is from the SAP 4.6 system. Right. So default is 3. And the recommended, we do recommend password for greater than 8, right? Greater than 8 characters. So let me put a note here also, because this is very, very important. All right. Let me put a note here. Yes. Right.
Yeah.
So by default, it's SAP 4.6 and below. The max password length is 8.
Okay.
Right. So if you go to ECC 6, I think the max password length is 16, but I'm not really sure. I need you to find it out. Okay.
I'll find out.
All right. So it sets the minimum password length. The next is fails to session end. Right. Login fails to session end. Number of times a user can enter an incorrect password before SAP ends the session. All right. So if I enter my password 3 or 4 times, we can,
Log in.
yeah, we can try to log in with an incorrect password. Right. It will just end the session. It will not lock the user. Okay. All right. So next is login fails to user lock. So this is number of times a user can enter an incorrect password before SAP locks the user master records from further logons, right? So that user will be locked, and you need to reach out to the security admin to unlock your user account. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So that is the alignment of SAP configuration settings with organizational policies. Right. So the next is access to generic user accounts, right? So there are some SAP generic or the SAP predefined user accounts that SAP provides, right? So let me give you the most critical setup ID. That is the SAP star.
SAP?
Right? SAP star.
Yeah.
Star. So this user is very critical, right? Its status along with that of other generic IDs can be checked using SAP report RSUSR003. So this is the report which we can see the status of other the generic user IDs.
That's the report. Yeah.
Right. Shall I share you my full screen? Just hold on.
Yeah, sure.
entire screen.
Yep.
I hope you can see that now.
Yep.
Perfect. So let me just, sorry. Just give you an overview of this user. So SAP star, as I told you, that is the user.
Still
And
waiting.
let me, okay. Can you see my SAP screen, Mustafa?
It's black.
Okay.
It's quite
Not good, not good.
funny, man. What's going on, man?
I don't know. It should. All right.
Look.
All right. Let's just go ahead, right? And
Okay.
we'll just finish with the theory, and maybe look at the practicals later.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, that's fine, that's fine.
Or maybe we can share the screen through Skype also later.
Yeah,
right?
later, yeah.
Yeah, later. Okay. So just remember, SAP star is the most critical user ID, okay? Because it has every authorization, right? It can do anything. So that is why it is suggested that you do not share the password for SAP star user ID. Okay.
Okay.
All right. The passwords of these generic IDs should be reset, and the high privileged profiles, I'll let you know.
Sorry,
Profiles are
I can't see anything, sorry.
okay. Let me just do that once again. Just hold on. Okay. Now can you see it? Just let me know.
Just a normal white screen once at once. It's in the process. Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah.
Okay.
You told me about the SAP star. That's the most critical transaction.
All right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The password of these generic IDs. See my cursor. Just follow my cursor. Follow my cursor. The password of these generic IDs should be reset, and the high privileged profiles, SAP all, SAP new, should be removed. All right. High privileged profiles, SAP all and SAP new, should be removed from this user, SAP star.
Okay.
It is important to note that the SAP star account can recreate itself with a default and commonly known password when deleted. Right? Accordingly, it is important that the SAP star account is secure but not deleted, and the system parameter login no automatic user SAP star is set to 1. Right? So what this parameter does, you have to tell me. Okay?
Which one?
This is this one, the last one. Okay. Login no automatic user SAP star.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's it. Yep.
All right. So
I'll have a look at that.
Yeah. Just take a look at this parameter. Google it, and you will get to know what it does. All right.
It's a parameter, you said. Yep.
It is a parameter.
Okay. Okay, that's fine.
Right. So third point is allocation of wide access profiles. Wide access profile. When we say wide access profile, we do mean SAP all and SAP new. So SAP all is a profile which gives you every authorization in the SAP system. Right. So this is critical, very very critical profile. Similarly, SAP new gives access to all transactions and to all new authorization objects. So all the custom authorizations and right. So these two profiles should be should be given to limited users, or should not be given to should not be given at all. All right, because these are the most highly privileged profiles. All right. Right. So next is support and project team access.
Yep.
Right. SAP is delivered without specific profiles or roles built for support or project team members. Right. It is therefore important to define these to ensure the access of these users is appropriately restricted. So whenever we have a project going on in the SAP, so make sure those users do not have SAP all or SAP new profiles, right? Because the access given to them is very, very critical, right? Just avoid giving these profiles to them. So what should we do, right? We should give specially designed roles that fits their day-to-day tasks, all right? So whatever profiles, whatever tasks we give them, whatever roles we give them, that should be let us say that should fit their day-to-day activities.
Yep.
Right? They should not have any they should not have any extra requests. Let us say I'm a developer. I need all the development related related access, right? So if I do not have the access to the above dictionary, so I have to go again and again to the security admin and ask for them to the to this access, right? So it is really cumbersome for me to do this, and for the security admin as well. Right. To ensure support and project team users have been adequately restricted, look for the role specification outline, access requirements of these users, and a set of roles defined for each group. Right. So broadly speaking, a minimum roles defined for the following groups should be found. Right. So developers have their own set of access. Basis administrators have their own set of access. Security role administration have their own set of access. Similarly, security user administration. Functional and configuration have their own set of access. In functional or configuration, we have more branches. Right? Functional, let us say a finance user has its own set of access. Right? A sales user has its own. Right? So a process should also be in place that confirms the roles are correctly defined for the organization's needs. Right? You need to define a role for each and every area of function, right?
Okay.
So this was support and project team access. So the next is appropriate segregation of duties in role design and access administration processes. As I told you before, management and monitoring of SOD.
Yep.
Management and monitoring of SOD in an SAP environment is an important part for the security process. So we need to clearly define this, right? We can do this using the SOD matrix that we have, that is a standard all over, right? And we can also design our extra conflict, our extra risks that a company considers, right? Right. In order to ensure segregation of duties is incorporated into the organization's role design and access administration process, a tool such as SAP GRC, risk analysis and remediation, RAR, should be installed to manage these risks.
Yep.
Right. So I told you, different companies have their own products, right, which gives us the tools to for these risk analysis and remediation, right? Manual processes can be employed as an alternative in smaller organizations, right? Manual process, let us say we have the SOD matrix and we can design our rules to that extent that we can, so that there is no conflict, so that there is no risk, right? So that is for smaller organizations. But the limitations of these processes should be recognized and managed, right?
Okay.
Example, monitoring at role level as opposed to the transaction level. So let us say we have a transaction, a user has a transaction access for two conflicting transactions, two transactions which generates a risk, right? So that is the transaction level. But however, the monitoring should be done at the role level. let us say if a user can see the, let me give you a simple example. If a user can only, um, if a user can only see a sales order, right?
Yep.
So, but it is not allowed to change the sales order, right? So the transaction is same. However, at the role level, the activities are different, right?
Okay.
So monitoring should be done at the role level, not at the transaction level.
At a lower level, like
Right.
like a lower level.
Yes, a lower level. We have a role and its profile and its authorizations and its fields and its values. Later we will come and later we will get to know what these things mean to us, right?
Okay. Okay. I got it.
All right. So next is emergency and high privileged access procedures, right? So emergency access should be also provided to the users, right? Roles should be defined to meet the access requirements of a support and project teams on a day-to-day basis. Let us say, um, let's take an example of two users which are performing two different tasks, right? One of them goes on a vacation, and what happens? The other user wants to do the first person task. So how will it do that?
Okay.
All right. So what will happen is the other user will ask for a role, right? For, let us say, a specific amount of time. Let us say he asks for a role for 2 hours, right? Right. So it will get the access to that role, and whatever he does, whatever changes to the database are made, or whatever transactions that are executed during that 2 hours, that will be monitored, that will be logged, right? So this is emergency access management, right? So this should also be defined clearly. So the roles should be put in place, right, for the emergency access. Let's say roles should be defined to meet the access requirements of support and project teams on a day-to-day basis. However, it is important that these users have an escalation route available that enables them to get access to the extended rights quickly, right? So it should get the rights quickly, right?
Yep.
When the appropriate circumstances arise. For example, to debug issues not replicable in a non-production system. This access should be approved by the head of SAP application support or similar authority and be allocated for a defined period and tracked for usage. Right? Should be allocated for a defined period and tracked for usage. Right?
Good.
So this is an important pillar of SAP security, emergency access. The previous one was the risk analysis. Right? Okay. So next is user access and housekeeping reviews. SAP system administration processes must include regular reviews of duplicate user IDs, right? So what are the housekeeping issues, or what are the user access issues? So next, let me give you the points here. Users which have not logged in since a specific period of time. Roles which are seldomly or completely unused, right? So we have roles that are lying unused or very seldomly used. Okay. So users which are expired or locked, right? So what to do with these users, because they are actually eating up whole licensing costs related to the SAP users. So what to do with these users?
Yep.
Right. SAP system administration processes must include regular reviews of duplicate user IDs, generic accounts, passwords, parameters, etc. All right. So this is the user access and housekeeping reviews taken into account during the implementation of SAP GRC solutions, SAP security solutions.
Yep.
Next is change management procedures. Right. SAP has an inbuilt transport mechanisms called the change in transport system, CTS, right? Uh, and it is important that access to the key transactions used to manage the CTS is restricted to only those administration staff members that are required to perform their roles. So basis administrators or the system admin can actually have the have the access to these transactions, which includes the transport system, right? The transport manager, that is the change management procedures. Okay, so let us say that the access to the transaction SE10 or the STMS should not be allowed to everyone. Okay.
Yep.
Next is access to the sensitive functions. What are the sensitive functions here? Very, very sensitive functions. One of them is access to maintain and create users and roles. Okay. If any person is allowed to create users and roles, then it can create havoc. Next is access to run operating system commands. All right, OS commands. It should not be allowed to everyone. Access to transport, transaction, and objects. Access to change or create programs. Access to open and close the system for configuration. All right. Access to debug programs. Right. What debugging does is it allows the users to bypass the authorization checks and practically allow access to any transaction codes, right? Allow access to anything. So debugging is also restricted, very, very restricted. So access to sensitive transactions or sensitive functions should be restricted as much as possible. Right? It should be given to only those persons which are responsible for that role. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The next is business ownership and security process. Right.
Yep. I can see that. Yep.
All right. Only the businesses can understand the implications of letting the payment clerk also be in charge for paying vendor invoices or employee expense claims. So the business must define whether the activity can be performed, right? So the business ownership should be clearly defined. If let's say every employee is allowed to, have access to the vacation, access to the vacation request process, right? So these processes can be defined, should be defined, should be clearly defined.
Yep.
So the business must define whether the activity can be performed. It is essential, therefore, that it is understood which members of the staff are allowed access to each SAP function, and that access is constantly controlled. Right? It should be understood first, and then should be clearly defined. So,
yeah.
So these all 10 points are mandatory for transactions for SAP security solutions to implement, right? As long as these things are not cleared, these 10 things are not cleared, you cannot just go ahead and implement a GRC or a security solution. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So these are very, very important points.
You have to have all these 10 points. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So you have to have these 10 points, otherwise you can't implement the security.
Yes, you need to clearly define these points first of all, right?
Yeah, that sounds clear. Yeah.
I think this was clear.
Yeah.
So what I will try now is I will try sharing my SAP screen to give you an idea of one such transaction. Okay?
Yeah. So I know exactly where. Yeah.
All right. So let me just. All right. Can you see my screen? Just let me know when you do.
Okay. Still waiting. Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Perfect. All right. So Mustafa, let me give you an example. So we have a transaction SU01.
Yeah, that's the most important one.
I would say not as important because there are
No.
much more important transactions.
PFC.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's it. Yeah, that is one of the most important transactions, right?
That's the first
All
one.
right. So, right. So, as I told you, I will show you SAP star, right? The user.
Yep.
All right. I'll just go to display. Just let me know whenever you are not able to see the screen. Okay.
Okay.
So we are on the same page. All right. So let me navigate to the profile section. Profiles, as you can see. I'll just navigate to the profile, and now you see SAP All and SAP New.
1 second.
Okay.
Yeah.
So SAP All is a very critical profile, as I told you. It means all SAP system authorizations. Okay. And SAP New.
Is that the stars? Sorry, are you talking about? I can just see the SAP star. Ah.
So
Okay.
that is the user. Yes. SAP Star is the user.
So you're talking about the profile now. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So SAP All and SAP New are the two profiles that are very, very critical. Okay. I just wanted to show you this because SAP Star do have these profiles. So it is recommended that we delete these profile access from here. Okay. We should delete them. I don't know how. Yep. Yeah. There you go. We should delete them and save this user. Okay.
Yeah. So it's better for you to delete them.
Yes, it is better for us to delete them because nobody should have access to this user. And by let us say by mistake, if the password of this user is changed or initialized through, let us say, an automatic or a background process, then it is a great risk for it. Yeah?
Can I ask you one thing, please?
Mm-hmm.
You know the SAP All and the SAP New.
Yes.
Who is mainly authorized to have them?
It is suggested no one,
Sorry?
but
No one.
no one. It is suggested no one. But however, you know, every company is different. So, every company has its own process. So let us say a CEO wants to have SAP All and SAP New access. So we cannot, interfere with that. So every company has a different process, but it is recommended that no one should have this access. Everyone should have access to their own, right?
I got you. Because then there might be a conflict of issues, isn't it?
Yes. Okay. All right. Let me give you another transaction code, SUIM.
Yep.
SUIM.
Yep.
Okay. So let me just execute this. That is the user information system. So what SUIM does is, it is a set of reports, right? It is a set of huge number of reports. So I'll just execute this, right? So we have all the user reports, right?
Yeah.
User by systems, user by roles, user by profiles, user by license data. So let me just execute a simple transaction, a simple report here. I'll just execute this, right? Let us say, do I have any user with the name of A?
Okay.
Oh, so these are all the users I have. Okay.
Sorry, was that user by profile?
This, sorry?
Did you go to user by profile?
Let me check. Yep, it should be there.
Yeah.
User by profile. Yep, we do have it here.
Yeah.
Profile name, let us say SAP_all. Okay. So let me just execute this.
Yeah.
Let's see how many users have this. Oh, all these users have SAP all.
All
Maybe yes, all of these users. So These are all the training users. As you can see, this is the this is the system for company. So all of these users are having SAP all.
Probably
Right?
training.
Right. Okay. So so coming back to the SUIM, so this is a set of reports, right? Set of useful reports that we can, access. Similarly, there are reports for roles, by role name, by user assignment. You just let me.
Yep. Yep.
It might hang. I don't know. I don't want to run it. All right, just go with it. Let's go with it. All right. So these are the roles, right, which are having valid assignment of users. SAP stock contains so SAP, any use. Yep. So any user starting with SAP, right, have all these roles. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So that's for the roles. So what I want you to do is go through this transaction code, and just run whatever is there. Just try to get a hold of you.
Okay.
So, yep.
Yep.
So the last is change documents. Let us say for users. So change documents is basically the history. Let us say user is myself. What I did change. What change did I do? Let's say
1 second.
6th. Yeah.
It's a bit slow. 1 second.
All right.
Okay, I can see now. Yeah, that's the main screen. Yeah. Is that? Are we still in SUIM?
Okay. So what I did was I executed the report change documents for users. Okay. Okay. So let me just execute this. Whatever changes I made during this, no, I did not change anything. I don't know. So this is all the history for users, right?
All the history.
Yeah. When was the user created? Password. I think that should do it. No, nothing.
Still waiting.
All right. So you get the idea. Huh?
Yeah. That's you. You want to find the history.
Yes, I want to find the history. This is for the history, change documents, for roles, for profiles, for authorizations, authorization defaults, role assignment for users, everything, right? Okay?
Okay. SUIM.
All right. SUIM.
Yeah, I am. Sorry.
So this is one of the, yeah. All right. Mustafa, I'm sending over a PDF.
That's great.
Right? Which will help you, getting an overview of SAP, SAP GRC basically, right? So
That's great. And if you can email me the presentation, because it was quite good. It's like it's knowledge.
sure,
Knowledge.
sure, definitely.
Knowledge.
Just
Power. Is that you? Is that in the Skype?
yes, that's me. You can share your email ID over here.
Share my email.
Right.
Just here. Okay.
So I'm giving you the PDF. So
Can
no need to go through it. Just take an overview, all right?
Well, it's all lowercase. Just let you know, all lowercase. So.
Okay. So
So the PDF file
yes.
is just giving overview. So yeah, okay.
just go through an overview. It's because it's very elaborative. So just I would suggest you to just skim through it.
Okay, okay. Just to have like an idea, if you know what I mean. Like,
Yes. Just have an idea, basic idea.
okay, you've got my email address there.
So I will send you. I will send you the slides.
So
All right.
so is that so basically what do you want to do tomorrow's same time? Or you want to do
Yes, I think that would be.
is it better for you?
You tell me. I mean, I'm available anytime. You just tell me what time this.
When's the best time for you? When is the best time for you?
I think this is perfectly fine.
That's fine. So we'll basically I'll create a new session for tomorrow.
I'm not. Yes, I think you have to do that.
Yeah, I'll do that. I know how to do that.
All right. If you're allowed to do that, then you can send me a link also. I'll just give you my email ID as well.
Yeah.
That's my old email ID. So because Sana is communicating with me through this email ID, I think we should also have this. So that is my email ID. Just include me in the meeting.
That's your email address.
Sorry?
That's your email address.
Yes, that is my email address.
1 second. Do you know the SAP software? The SAP software you sent me. Not the software. The SAP program that you sent that you were sharing with me. Jag? Jag, you there? Hello? Hi, Jag. You right, mate?
Hi, Mustafa. So I think I lost connection over this meeting.
Yeah, I sent you a blank email with my email, if you know what I mean.
Check once again. Yeah, I got your email.
Yeah, that's my email. Yeah. I just want to let you know before you go. Do you know the SAP you showed me, the SAP software you showed me, you're sharing with me?
SAP software?
No, the SAP program that you were sharing with me.
Program?
The SAP when you were doing the transactions. How do you increase? What I'm saying is, how do you increase the size of the? How do you increase the size of the SAP login?
I'm not getting you, Mustafa. Seriously. Okay. You're talking about the SAP program?
Yeah. The SAP program. How do you increase the size?
Size of?
The size of the screen.
Which screen are you talking about?
I'm talking about the SAP login. How do you maximize it? Because it's, I mean, it's quite small, if you know what I mean. Is that how it is? Is that how it is?
Can you
Mustafa, can you share your screen over Skype and just let me know?
Yeah, one second.
Yep.
Yep. I'll show you now.
Yep, I can see it.
I'll show you now. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, do you know the size of this? When I click on it, oh, I have to put it all over again. Okay. One second.
Yes, Mustafa.
Yeah,
can you share? Can you show me now?
Yeah, can you see it now? One second. Just bear with me a second.
Okay.
Sorry, Marco, 1 second. Yeah, basically, do you know the fonts, the size fonts of that? Can I expand it? Can I make it bigger? Like,
Yes, you can.
is there a way from here? Oh, you sure I can make it bigger? Because I'm trying to make it bigger, but
All right, just.
if you know what I mean.
Yes, I do know.
It's not that.
All right, Mustafa, I would like to confirm. I'll just get rid of this meeting. So I'm just leaving this meeting. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Just let me get out of this meeting. So you were having issues while viewing my screen or your screen?
No, my screen, mine.
All right. So let me just share my screen.
Okay.
You can stop sharing your screen.
Okay. Yeah, I've stopped.
Okay. So, okay. All right. Can you see my screen here?
Where on the Go meeting or where? Or Skype?
Can you see my screen here?
Yeah, I can see this. Yeah.
Okay. So what I will do is click this button, customize local layout. Okay.
Okay.
Then go to options.
Options, yep.
Then the second option here, beneath the visual design,
Font
is font settings.
Okay. I didn't see that either.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So you can select here. You can change the fonts from here, right?
From there. Yeah.
I'll apply this, and I need to log out. I think I need to log out first. Just log out, and now maybe get rid of SAP log on and start once again.
Yep. I got it.
So I think it should increase the font to some extent. Yep. It did increase my font.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. I might as well do it because I'm using a very, very small
that's
font. It'll hurt your eyes.
Yeah. So I think now my font is very.
Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah.
All right, Mustafa. So I think
yeah, everything's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just email me what you can, and we'll take it from tomorrow, and I'll just revise today. You know, read some of the PDF.
Definitely.
Because I like reading a lot. You know.
Right. That's great.
And tomorrow we'll be in touch tomorrow, hopefully. Okay.
Yes, definitely. Just send me a meeting request, okay?
Okay, I'll send you a meeting request.
All right.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thanks, man. Thanks.
Thanks, Mustafa. You have a nice day.
You too. Take care, mate. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.